Today we're gonna make some Korean sausage bread. You may have seen this around the internet lately, so I had to share my take on it too. We start with the warm milk in a bowl where we're gonna add the melted butter. Be careful because we need this to be warm and not hot, otherwise you will kill your yeast. Add 2 tablespoons of sugar for the yeast and the yeast. Let it sit for around 5-10 minutes to see if it bubbles up. At the same time, you can consider leaving a like and subscribe for more as it will help me a lot. Meanwhile, let's cut the veggies. We're gonna need some red onions. This is my choice, you can use fresh chives or other types of onions. We want to cut this in small cubes. Now a bell pepper. I'm using a yellow one because this is what I found in the store today. You can use green or red, the choice is yours. Remove the white part and same thing as the onion, cut it in small cubes. We don't have a lot of space for the topping on the bread, so this is why we need to cut this small. Now in a bowl add your veggies, along with as much corn as you'd like. It is really up to you. We're also gonna need some shredded cheese. I'm not sure, but I think the original recipe calls for mozzarella. Well, I added some nice cheddar cheese because it has a nice, stronger and better taste. Then add some mayo, half teaspoon of white pepper and half teaspoon of chili powder if you want some spice. Oh, and I wanted to add some herbs, so I added some thyme. You can play here a little with different condiments or herbs. Give it a good mix and check if the composition sticks together. If not, add a little more mayo or cheese. Okay, now back to our yeast, add the flour on top of it, a little salt, put the dough hook and let it knead for around 5 minutes. If you're doing it by hand, you will probably need more. But hey, I have a kitchen robot, so I'm gonna take advantage of that. Now it really depends on the moisture in the room. This time my dough went really nice and smooth with no problems. If yours is way too sticky, add very little oil and continue to knead, or 5-10 more grams of flour may also help. By the way, this is all-purpose flour. Now the dough is ready, it's not sticky as you can clearly see. Add some olive oil in the bowl, put the dough back and let it rise for around 1 hour. I covered mine with a kitchen towel, you can use a plastic sheet. After that hour, punch it because it's really satisfying and why not. And use some flour for your working space. Add some more to your dough and just start to roll the dough. You preferably want a rectangle, but I'm not gonna stress about that and just cut it later. We don't want this dough to be too thick. I'd say half a centimeter is enough, but if you manage to get it thicker, that's okay. It becomes a problem when it's too thin. Now I'm gonna cut and make a rectangle out of this so I can add the sausages easier. With the rest of the dough you can keep it and make some cinnamon rolls later. Anyway, put a sausage on the dough to see how much of it you have to cut. You need enough dough to cover the sausage entirely, but not to have too much excess. Now cover the sausage and give it a roll on the table and make sure it is sealed. This is an easy process, but the hard one comes after this. Also make sure you don't have too much air stacked in there, that means you may have too much dough and it won't cut nice. Now the hard part is to cut through this. The best is to use some kitchen scissors and cut just through the sausage. You need to let the base of the dough intact. You can also do it with a knife like I do, but it is hard and you may fuck up a little like I did a few of them. To make the shape, you need to pull one sausage in the front, and then one in the left, one in the right. This process isn't as hard as cutting it. You just need a little patience and don't pull too hard or you may rip the dough. And this is the shape. If it breaks like mine, just press it a little and they will bind together easy enough. Now I'm not gonna show you how I shape all of this, and I have to tell you that I had some ugly ones in there. But the topping will cover them nicely and no one will notice. This goes easier with a thicker sausage, so keep that in mind. Give them an egg wash and use a teaspoon to add some of that topping on them. And yeah, I got lazy and the last one I just cut it in mini sausage rolls, as you can see there in the back. Anyway, you want to add some of that topping in the middle and not really cover your sausages with it. Add a little more cheese on top because cheese is love. And in the oven it goes at 180 degrees Celsius for around 25 minutes, fan off. At that point, turn on the fan for 3-4 more minutes if they didn't crisp enough. And this came out better than I expected. Let them cool off for a minute and then add ketchup on top. Now to tell you my opinion on this, I don't think it's worth the effort. to shape them like this. Don't get me wrong, these are delicious and they look great, but if you're making them for yourself, just shape the dough as a pizza and be done with it. But these are great if you serve them to guests or try to make some nice looking food, I guess. I have to tear one apart for you and taste it. As I said earlier, this is really delicious and the topping on this with the mayo and everything goes really great. I have to say that this is a little spicy, but I like spicy, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, subscribe and hit the bell for notification as I post every week. I'm gonna steal that and go in my room. See ya next time.